live.
Sweet. So currently have no viewers.
And where does it show the viewers? Oh, it says down there. Okay.
All right, sweet guys. Hey, we got 0 viewers. No pressure.
Wait, I can't see that. Only you guys can see.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Sad.
Okay. I was just wondering. Yeah. Woo.
Oh, I can. You're in a moderated video call. Huh. I don't think I can look at it though.
I mean, that's okay. I hope a lot of people join the Facebook group so we can like post updates there and make it easier.
Yeah.
Sure. Well,
do you have people in that already?
Should we just wait until like I guess it's all like live on YouTube right now. Like, what do we do when there's no viewers? Like,
is it easier to stop and start?
I don't know. If we stop, does that mean? Okay, let's just see who's planning on going to this. Check over.
We can probably edit it before it goes up. Eventually, like before it's posted to YouTube, right?
Probably.
It's a little early. Well, I'm 1 minute behind you.
Yeah, I guess it is a little bit early, yeah. So my thing is fast.
Rudy's on.
Rudy, you here? Let me see if I can. Hey, buddy. Rudy, is your camera working?
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Hey.
What's up, Rudy? How's it going?
Doing pretty good.
Good, man. I like the purple. Looking fly.
Thanks.
All right. So I think we're still waiting for some folks to join. Oh, we got some other people here. Let me take a look at who's here. All right.
Okay, I'm just gonna get my. We'll be right back again.
Rudy, how are you, man?
Doing good, man. I'm having some P1 issues that I'm trying to work through right now. It's getting crazy because I'm gonna go out of town next week, so gotta get some things done.
For sure. How's so everything at the job is going well? Last time I talked to you, you were like ecstatic about everything. You were just like super stoked on everything.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I've been talking to a recruiter from Google Mobile. Using this? Yeah. Okay, I gotta move, dude. I gotta find another place to camp out. Actually, maybe I'll just go outside. I'll just go outside. That way I won't bother nobody.
All right.
It's kind of bright.
The folks who are currently watching right now, we're just going to wait until we're going to give everyone about 5 minutes to log in.
Are you using this room?
Yeah, everybody uses this room. It's the library, it's quiet room.
Okay, I better move because I'm on a conference call. Oh yeah, find a place. Oh yeah. Maybe I'll go to the ping pong room or the arcade room or something.
For sure. Okay. Hey, Harlan. How's it going?
Good.
Oh, that looks familiar where you are. Do you
I'm in the same building as you.
Do you want to come join us in the conference room?
What?
Do you want to come join us in the conference room?
Oh. Sure.
I know where I can go. I'll go to the pool hall. Nobody's there for sure.
I'll come get you. Is that fine? All right, sweet. Yeah, so let's just give ourselves like maybe, I don't know, 3 more minutes, and then we'll start.
Do you want to pull me back here?
I can just go in the middle. That works.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take a nice comfy one.
Take that edge. I don't necessarily want further forward. I don't so good.
I'll get forward.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, sweet. So you're like right next to me. Okay, cool. See real quick. Okay. So I think you know we got a few people online right now. Let's just kind of start things off because I know that Como only has a little bit of time. So I'll just go ahead and introduce myself real fast. I'm Evan. I work at Make School. I've been mainly focused on like community management sort of things over the past couple months, and that's also what I'll be doing this summer. So I'll probably, for anyone who's online right now, you might see me in New York for the first couple days of the Summer Academy, but I'll be spending the majority of my time out in the Bay Area for the San Francisco and Silicon Valley locations. So with me, I have Sarah. Sarah, say hi.
Hey. So I'm Sarah. I deal with operations and the scholarships. Most of you have probably emailed me about that.
Awesome. And so we also have one of our 2-year college alternative students who actually graduated, Harlan.
Hi, I'm Harlan.
Sweet. We also have Rudy online. If Rudy is still there, it looks like he might have left for a quick moment. Rudy was one of our Summer Academy students from last summer who ran a very successful TILT campaign. So excited to have him here. Important to mention too, Harlan also, yeah, we can just keep like this. Harlan also did a TILT campaign last summer, and it sounds like there was some success. So we'll be going over this session on kind of like best practices, what worked, what didn't work last year, and what you can do this year to like have an outstanding TILT campaign. We're lucky enough also to have Como with us. Como is actually one of the people that was working at Make School last summer, specifically focused on the TILT campaign. So she's super knowledgeable about like, well, kind of what I just said, what works, what doesn't work, especially around what happened last summer. So Komal, how about we have you kind of just like dive into, you can introduce yourself and then you can kind of start talking about like what your experience was with helping students with their TILTs last summer.
Yeah, sure. So hi, I'm Komal. And like Evan said, I was working on the TILT campaigns last year, helping students kind of figure out what kind of story that they want to present on the TILTs, and then also how to reach out to people, who to reach out to, and kind of guidance with that. Since I don't have a lot of time right now, I sort of wanted to just give you guys a couple things that I think are really important. The first thing is when you are thinking about how to present yourself and your story, think about what will be the most compelling to your audience. You are asking people to, you know, contribute to your education, so they need to feel like it's something worthwhile. And so for me, like it's about thinking about where you came from, what your skills are, what you're looking to learn, and what you're looking to do from that. So that's a kind of a good story arc, and it gives people clarity in terms of where you're headed and why they should contribute. So some of our stories that we had from last year, there was a student that was unfortunately diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, and going through treatment and all of that stuff. But he was very motivated to learn computer science and attend make school and trying to find a way to make that happen. And so that's kind of a compelling thing. People are excited to help someone out that's helping themselves. And he's actually coming back this year, so I think it's quite a good story. And then another example was we had a student from Mongolia who her goal was to learn how to create educational iPhone games for students in Mongolia to learn English. And so, that's something that people will see and they're like, okay, that's, I can contribute to that. And I think the thing to think about, I get things like, oh, I'm not from Mongolia, or I'm not doing, I don't, have anything big, but search into, your history and where you want to go. There's a story there. I promise you. And it's just about showing that to your audience. And then, so that's when you're crafting your tilt campaigns, and that's something that the Make School team will help you with as well. So, but the thinking in terms of who you are, that the best. So think about that, and think about that in the lens of who you're talking to. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give for that. And then the second thing is, don't be worried if you get no a lot. That's kind of normal. You're going to get more no's than you're going to get yeses. But the thing to remember is that you need a handful of yeses. That's it. So the more people you reach out to, the more likelihood you're going to get the yeses that you need. So just keep trying every week. Post on social media. Reach out to see if you can find contacts in press. A good way to do that is maybe high school newspapers or college papers, depending on where you're at. They like these kind of stories, and so pitch something to them, and that'll get cast a wider net in terms of your audience. So yeah, those are, I think, the two most important things. Don't be afraid to be persistent. That's the thing that I think I gave them most advice on. Just keep at it. And yeah, I mean, I think the best thing is to hear from the students that were able to be successful. So I think we should turn it over to Rudy and Harlan.
Awesome. Hey, Komal, thank you so much for hopping in. I know you're busy.
Sure.
But yeah, we definitely appreciate your input. You got a lot of experience from last summer.
Yeah. If anyone has questions, I can stick around for like 5 or more minutes or anything like that. If any of you want, because I think there's they can type questions or something like that.
Yeah.
Right?
So for our viewers right now, we have question and answers enabled. So you should see it on the right side. There should be a space for you to enter some text and enter a question. And we can field those as they come in. So don't be afraid to say hi or anything. We're here. So I guess Rudy just hopped in. So Rudy, if you want to introduce yourself real quick, maybe tell us a little bit about first maybe about like why you wanted to go to Make School last year. Then maybe you can tell us about what your experience at Make School was like, and then also a little bit about your crowdfunding campaign. That would be great.
Sure. So my name is Rudy Gomez. I'm now a software engineer at Marquette. This summer I came to Palo Alto to attend the summer academy and Make School because I wanted to release my app. Wasn't expecting to get a job out of it. It turned out that I realized that I had the skills that are in high demand here. So after the academy was over, I realized that there was a possibility of me finding a job out here. So I pursued that, and I got I got an internship at a startup, and then we got acquired. So kind of living the life right now. So I actually tilted to get over here. Some advice I have on that subject is you shouldn't be afraid to ask people for money. That was one of my things was that I've never asked anybody for anything in my life. I don't feel right about it. And when I started my campaign, at first I was a little squeamish about asking people for money, but then afterwards I started to realize that what I was asking for money for, the thing I was asking for money for was it was actually beneficial to other people. It was going to be beneficial to other people, and it was that there's so many aspects of that you can actually that you can see that you affect other people, around you by doing things, and you inspire people, and by you asking for these things, you might be thinking, asking for money, but really what you're doing is you're committing yourself to doing something and showing other people how to do that, and what they need to do it. So one of the biggest things about that I learned from my Tilt campaign was that I needed to have some value to my campaign besides just, I want to go do this and I need money for this and that and that. So what I started doing was I started focusing on what I could bring to other people, how I could help other people besides myself. And so my campaign started focusing more on the tools that I use to, showing people the steps that I took to get to where I'm at. What tools did I use, before I went to make school to learn what I learned in order to get there, and so basically my my goal for that Tilt campaign was to just to help others, right? Not just myself, to give everybody else the path to take, or the path that I took, that anybody else can take the same path. If they see my campaign, I was just like a regular person before the summer, and after just putting in the effort, now I'm in a position to help out my family, to help out my friends. I'm inspiring people, numerous amount of people. I'm helping other people. I think that's the key to having a successful Tilt campaign is showing your audience that you're not in it just for yourself. That you're going to make a difference, not just for your local community, but the people that are going to attend the academy. That you're going to be there for them, and it's going to at least that's what worked for me. So.
That's awesome. Rudy, what was the amount that you were initially trying to raise, and were you able to actually successfully tilt?
So I think I was trying to hit 2,500. It wasn't all my expenses, but it's what I felt like I could possibly try to tilt with. In the end, I think I was a little short, and I had to ask a few more favors from a few people to get me over the top. But I mean, that's what it takes. You gotta not be afraid to ask people for help. And interestingly enough, the people that helped me during that Tilt campaign, they seem to be very happy to see where I'm at right now. That they had something to do with it. Maybe it wasn't a lot that they donated, but they see me, what I'm doing now, and that you can see the emotion come out, kind of coming out of them, and that's how you realize that it's okay to ask people for money, because if you're gonna go and accomplish these things, you're gonna bring them up with you, and so yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the biggest things. Don't be afraid to ask, and you should always start with your close friends and family. See what see how they.
So, like, did you ever end up asking people outside of your friends and immediate family, or like your relatives? Did you go to people that were just in your community, and how did you actually approach them? Did you email them? Did you go face to face? Did you call them on the phone? Like, what was the communication path for those folks?
So I probably could have tried a lot harder. I didn't do anything like go door to door to complete strangers, but I did try to talk to people in the media, some news anchors they're local news anchors that I felt that maybe they might be able to spread my word, which is I'm trying to show people how to achieve these goals, right? That didn't really pan out, but it doesn't hurt to try. You never know who's going to be able to help you out, who's going to take that step for you. But besides my family, I mean, all I did was really, I went through my contact list, and I kind of made a list of the people that I felt comfortable, going up and talking to. But yeah, mostly it was people I knew. I mean, I could have done more. You could always do more, but.
I mean, it worked out for you, so that's the important thing. So okay, I have to leave really quickly, but Jacob just sent a. He just asked a
Yeah.
question. So can we get him on? Because I think that it would be helpful.
Actually, we're waiting on Jacob to join right now. I sent him a link.
Great. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Sorry. I'm glad that I joined in for whatever brief time I could right now, and I hope you guys get the advice and the expertise that you need. So, bye, and thanks for hearing me out.
Thank you so much, Como. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So we're going to continue on. As Como said, Jacob Half, will be joining us shortly. Jacob was one of our students last summer. I believe he'll be coming this summer as well. So let's see if we can get Jacob on real quick. Well, I guess we can talk about your experience too. Okay, great. So while we're waiting for Jacob to join, let's have Harlan kind of talk about his experience doing a Tilt campaign. So yeah, take it away.
Yeah, so I was at the Summer Academy last year as well. I'm now an iOS engineer, which is great. And I would reiterate a few things that Rudy said. He sort of said at the end briefly that you should contact your family and friends first. That helped me out. Right away, I spoke to my family and was able to get buy-in from them. And that spread among my family. Also friends. Friends and family are probably going to be your biggest contributors. That doesn't mean you shouldn't reach out past that network, but you should definitely try that network. I would try and think sort of what connections do you have in your community that you can tap. Not everything's going to work. That doesn't necessarily mean going to your local newspaper. That might not work for everyone, but do you have friends who know friends? Briefly, that you should contact your family and friends first. That helped me out. Right away, I spoke to my family and was able to get by. Hey, Jacob.
Hey.
Hey, would you mind muting your microphone for a sec?
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
No worries.
Nice to see you again. Yeah, so as I was saying, Facebook groups you can post in. The 3 places that I posted in were 1, like straight emailing my family. 2, posting on Facebook regularly, so that reached my immediate friends and my friends of friends. So that was a certain group. And then I sort of went an anonymous route, which was I had probably like 600 followers on Twitter. Not everyone has a Twitter account, but I did. So I started posting on Twitter a lot. And surprisingly, I got a number of randos. People followed me, some people I've never even met, who contributed to my campaign, who saw that I was tweeting on Twitter about it. So it doesn't hurt to reach outside of your bubble and just try it. As Kamal said, it does help to have an angle you're going for. People do like to think they feel they are contributing to something that pertains to them. They're much more inclined to do something that matters to them, to contribute to something like that. So yeah, I came late in the game, so near the end I started sort of just asking for smaller amounts of money. You can't expect everyone to give you $100, $50, whatever. I was just like, do you have $10? Contribute to my campaign. This will be doing a really good thing. And yeah, that was how it went. Family, Facebook, Twitter, and no matter what someone gives you, if it's $5 or if it's $50, be thankful. Thank them publicly. And that also helps get your campaign in front of other people. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great.
Real quick, Evan. I just wanted to add on to what Harlan was saying. When I started my Tilt campaign that night, I also created a fan page for my game. I already had an idea that I was working on, and I used that as a channel to communicate with my audience and to try to get in front of as many people as you can. And also Twitter, I created a Twitter page for a Twitter account for my game as well. So I mean, I didn't have a lot of followers, but as many places you can get your your message across and as many channels as you can. You can try to get on the better. You're gonna have to expose yourself, and you like Connor said, you never know. A complete stranger will donate to you, and that makes a big difference in the end because you never know who's gonna really appreciate your campaign and donate to it. So
That's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought of one more strategy I had, which is sort of a bit of what we were saying is don't be afraid to approach people directly. I tried to think of people who this might actually pertain to, people who are into technology, and I would tweet directly at them. Now, for the people who I don't interact with daily who contributed to my campaign, the majority of them I reached out to through connecting to them, asking them directly through social media. So think about anyone on your social media lists who might be interested and just say $5, $10, $20. Here's my campaign. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Wow, that's really good advice. I think we're all pleased to see that Rudy's getting a lot of work done right now at his new job, playing some pool. Excellent. So how about we have Jacob hop on? Jacob, would you mind introducing yourself? Maybe telling us a little bit about your story, how it played into your Tilt campaign, and it would also be just great to hear about what your experience was like at the Summer Academy. What you built at the Summer Academy and why you're coming back this summer.
Sure, yeah, definitely. So I'm Jacob. I am a high school junior right now. I'll be a senior next year. And last year when I found the Academy, I was just kind of online looking for ways to learn how to code because the whole idea of making your own product that people would be using really enthralled me. So I happened to stumble upon the Summer Academy, and usually I wouldn't do something like this, but I just applied for it and took a chance and was accepted and went crazy over it until I found out from my mother that we wouldn't be able to pay for it. So I was really determined. So I said, you know what? They're telling me to make a campaign. I'm totally going to do that. And so I put a lot of thought into the campaign. I think a good piece of advice is really to, as Komal was saying, construct your story the best way possible, to try and get as many people on your side as possible. And I may have had an easier time with that because I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis, as Komal said, and it's a respiratory disease that affects the lungs and makes it harder for me to do really physical activities. So that kind of is one of the things that pushed me in the direction of computers. And that's one of the things that helped me grow so attached to them. And so I even had a picture of myself on one of my hospital visits, sitting in the admittance bed, on my computer like I always am. So I put that in the campaign. But one of the huge things is not everybody wants to read a whole big essay about why they should contribute to your campaign. So what I thought to do, and what some people at Tilt recommended, was for me to create a video. A video kind of, telling them my story and trying to get them to donate. And it really worked out well. Even if you don't want to put your face on camera and just talk straight to your audience, I was a little uncomfortable with that at that time. So what I did is I made a voiceover. So I just kind of put a picture of myself on the screen, made it a video, and I talked behind it. And so I told my story directly to the people who might want to contribute to the campaign. And it happened to work out really well because, if you construct your story the best way, kind of as Rudy was saying, that it's not only about you, that it's about other people. You want to help people not only at the Academy, but inspire more and more more people, specifically for me, high schoolers, to start, pursuing things like programming because, it's not too big of a hurdle, So trying to construct your story to motivate people to really donate is so important because that also makes them in turn want to show their friends. And that's a huge thing. When you ask people if they could donate, if they say yes, that's amazing. But when they're done, you also want to ask them, could you please like share this with somebody who you might think, would want to contribute here. So like after every single donation I got, I personally emailed them and I thanked them, and I said, oh, if you could share this with any of your friends, I would be utterly grateful. And that worked out amazingly because, for example, my neighbor across the street, I didn't even go and like directly ask her, but through the Facebook, I posted on Facebook, I posted on Twitter and stuff. Through that, she found out about it, and so she donated like $100 herself. And then she works at a pretty big corporation, and she's kind of high in power there. So she asked a lot of her coworkers who happened, I guess, to be well off and very generous and kind, and so she got another like $200 or $300 just from asking people around at her work. So not only asking like your parents or whoever, to ask around their workplaces, but asking people who have donated to you, if they have anybody who might be interested in the campaign. And to really pull in those people who you don't actually know is why having something like a campaign video is so important, because it really makes it personal, and it really like gets you to connect with your audience and tell them who you are. Like you wouldn't donate to somebody who you've never met before, you have no idea who they are, so an idea like with your campaign video is just kind of open up with who you are, where you are now, and then kind of get into the summer academy, why you want to do it and why you're so passionate about this. You really have to communicate your passion, your emotion, and why you need the help, because also cystic fibrosis kind of helped in that way because we have a lot of high medical bills which can be tough to pay and stuff, and that just puts us all the more at an economic strain than we already are. So having that to kind of back up, the story helps.
Awesome. Wow, thank you so much. That's really insightful.
No problem.
Yeah. So I guess this is another good time to mention that if you haven't already filled out the WooFoo form that we sent out in email to all folks who are requesting scholarship. We sent out an email to everyone saying like there's 3 steps you need to do. One of those steps in the WooFoo is upload a video of yourself. So when Jacob's talking about making a compelling video to share on your Tilt campaign, that's specifically what the purpose of uploading a video is, just to clarify. Harlan, can I ask, did you do a video for yours?
I did not.
You did not. Okay. So
I actually did do a video for mine, but I actually just did a gameplay video of my game, which I think helped out a little bit because people could see the product that I was trying to create. I don't know. That was me though.
Awesome. Interesting. Yeah. So that's another interesting strategy, right? Like if you already have something in mind that you want to build, we have a few students who are coming to the Summer Academy because they want to build some like social advocacy apps or philanthropic sort of tools. For those students, I think that would be a great angle, right? That's a great story to talk about, and if you can put together a video that also shows some of that, or or maybe like even just like showing mock-ups of what it might look like, I think helps make it real for the audience. And again, this is all about like it's not like you're going to need a video to convince maybe an aunt or uncle to donate to your campaign. The video is really to get the folks that you don't know as well to get interested in what you're doing. So yeah, again, if students that are watching right now have not done a video, definitely make sure you find some time, maybe tonight or tomorrow, to just put something together. Feel free to send it, or rather, even better yet, just post it into the Make School Tilts group on Facebook, and we can all give feedback and talk about like what we think works, what doesn't work, and ways to improve it. So I think one of the most important things for all of us is to really be a community about how we go about doing this, and to talk about what's working and sharing our successes with each other, because for a lot of us this is a new process. I haven't really done too much crowdfunding at all, to be quite frank. So I'm learning from everyone's experience. I see here we have a question from is it Fuang? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So Fuang asked if we should have multiple campaigns on different crowdfunding platforms. We're not opposed to the students, trying other campaigns by any means. Go for it. The reason why we suggest using Tilt is that they don't take any sort of fee for using their platform. So that's probably one of the main reasons that we really promote Tilt. On top of that, of course, Tilt is a Y Combinator partner of ours, so we like helping them out too, and getting folks using their tools is always great. But Fuang, certainly, if you have other platforms in mind, I would say go for it. Harlan, are you aware of other crowdfunding platforms that are more like social advocacy oriented, or more philanthropic oriented, and less like Kickstarter-y?
Yes, and I can't think of the names off my head, but I will post them in the group if I think of it.
Okay, cool, okay. Awesome, yeah.
Sure.
I believe I know a few. Is GoFundMe?
That was one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. So So there are a few other platforms to use. I would say let's experiment and see what works. If it turns out that using GoFundMe as a platform is the way to go, I think we should experiment and try to make that happen. Yeah.
One idea against that, perhaps, is campaigns are known to be more successful when they have a greater number of contributors and a greater amount. And if you do start posting on multiple sites, you're going to dilute that impact. So that's something to think about. That being said, as Evan said, certain crowdfunding platforms have different angles. And if an angle speaks to you, speaks to what you're trying to put out there, it could help it get in front of people who are more invested in that angle. So I don't know that I would post on every single major platform. It also helps to only have one link that you're sending out to everyone.
Yeah.
So I would definitely weigh the pros and cons of doing that.
Sure. Yeah. So maybe if if Fuang wants to experiment, we can see how that goes and make a judgment call based off of Fuang's experience. So yeah, Fuang, I would say go for it. See if anything works. And if it does, maybe we can re-strategize a little bit as a group. So we have some. Do you want to chime in, or we? Okay. So we have some basic kind of guidelines and some tips to do a successful crowdfunding campaign. We have it as a document, so we're actually going to be sending it out to everyone via email. But I think it would be good to highlight a few of them right now, since we have about 10 people. So it looks like a few people are logging off right now. But let's kind of go over some of those main tips. Cool. So we kind of already went over how to reach out to local press. I think the best way to get in touch with reporters is look on their Twitter. A lot of reporters use Twitter to basically send out all of their stories. Tweeting at a reporter should work. I would definitely encourage folks to do that. What else here? So this is an interesting tip, because I feel like even though it would work very well, I don't think we see many students doing this. But we can actually go door to door. This is Sarah. For those of you who weren't here in the very beginning, Sarah's also working with me on helping organize the Tilt campaigns. So Sarah, do you know of any students that did go door to door last year?
I think at least one did, and just trying your local community, so they know oh, that kid down the street, he's into coding, he wanted to make this game. I'll totally donate $5 or $10 towards that. Every little bit counts. It adds up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think going door to door, it definitely takes some courage. But I would say, certainly experiment and try. Going to your neighbors, it makes it that much more real. And again, it's all about building connection with someone and making them feel like their contribution is actually meaningful and is going to go towards something that is close to them in some way. So physically close to them, right? Right down the street is definitely one way to approach it. I would highly encourage folks to do this. Girl Scouts of America is a huge organization, and they basically do all of their cookie sales business door to door, and it's all philanthropic, right? So we have a similar message. This is obviously a philanthropic cause for many people, and I would definitely consider trying to do that too. There is, another way to do it is try to figure out like who in your community is particularly wealthy and might be interested in being a little bit more philanthropic than those in your community that might not be able to give that much. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know of any specific examples from the past, but I know like it can't hurt to reach out to like your local politicians, like say the mayor, anyone, because even if they don't help you out, they might say, well, actually, here's this grant that you can write a scholarship essay and apply for, and then you can get some funding that way. So you never know where like reaching out, while it might not give you direct funding, it might lead you to something else that will help you get some funding. Yeah,
absolutely. Especially on the grant side of things. There's a lot of grants out there, and in the document that we're going to be sending out after this hangout, they'll also be it'll include some information on how to like find grants and apply for them. There's like money sitting out there waiting for people to ask for it, and it's about like kind of uncovering those opportunities. Definitely reaching out to your local politicians is a great way to do it. Your local government representatives, like folks that work in your city management office. They're very, very connected. I would highly suggest reaching out to like your city manager or their secretaries. And also like consider going through your school channels. Many of you are in high school still, and that's great because high schools have an incredible network. Reach out to your school administrators. Talk to like, go to your local, if your high school has like a computer science group on campus, I would definitely go to the group and talk to them about what you're trying to do. And if possible, I would try to get something in a newsletter going out to parents, because parents definitely want to support the students that are going to school with their students and their children. So I would also encourage folks to do that. Again, there's like so many different ways to go about doing this. We're going to be putting it into a document for later viewing. But let's just go for like a couple other ones. I assume many of you are probably involved in some online communities. Sarah, are you involved in any online communities?
Mostly just Reddit right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm actually like not a huge Reddit user, to be honest, even though I probably should be. I've been keeping my distance because I know how addictive it is. But definitely, like, if any of you are involved in like gaming subforums on Reddit, or just like general computer science subforums, hardware subforums, I would say certainly make posts in there. Because it's upvoted, people will want to support it, even if they're not giving to it. So if you can get like 10 people to upvote it, that means like a lot of people are going to see it, and it's going to increase your chances of getting some donations for sure.
Especially if any of you guys are involved with like gaming forums, because like if they see some student who's like going to make their own games, they'll probably think that's super awesome and want to help support you.
Yeah, definitely. Jacob, can I ask, are you part of like any Reddit forums?
Actually, not really. I'm like kind of like you. I don't really use Reddit too much, although I'd be one who should use it a lot. But as far as reaching out to people goes, calling your family members is really big. I found, because I have like a good 4 aunts and uncles that I could call, and they really they loved. You can't just like email them or text them. You really have to get on the phone with them and talk to them about what you want to do. And they're your family, so of course they're going to want to help you out. But if you can ask them to see if they have anybody who can help out, that's also really key.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Let's go through a couple more of these. So I mean, there's definitely some ways to, like, aside from just asking for money, you can also try to provide some sort of exchange of service. A lot of you, like, for instance, my grandmother is totally, like, technology illiterate, and like, she literally just does not know how to use her computer at all. If I was in your shoes, what I would do is I would say, Grandma, can you help me out? I'll like help digitalize all your photo albums for you if you can help donate to my campaign. You know, like helping people do something that to you seems simple might be like a huge benefit to them, and it might not take very much of your time either. We've even seen students in the past like actually do bake sales or lemonade stands. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. You know, get innovative, and like, you know, this is a great chance to like try to be a little entrepreneurial and like figure out, you know, creative ways of basically getting people to help you out. I think since we're basically coming up on an hour right now, I want to leave it open to questions if any students that are online watching. It looks like we still have 10 people viewing, so if any of your viewers have any questions, by all means, like, let us know. We'll be on for another 5 minutes or so now. Rudy, you did a few bake sales?
I had to do to get here.
Sorry, say that again?
You just got to do whatever it's going to take, you know. I mean, like you said, every little bit counts. Like I would only make like maybe like $100 every bake, so I mean, it's just
hey, that's awesome,
how bad you want it, you know.
Wow, so Rudy, I actually had no idea that you were one of the students that did a bake sale. That's incredible. So that's awesome. Would you say like time spent doing it versus like amount of money you received from doing it? Would you say it was worth it?
Probably not. Well,
Okay.
I mean, it's tough, dude, because you know you're there all day trying to sell, and like you know, I mean,
Even if you have a friend to help you out or something like that, to just like, you know, decrease that time burden a little bit.
yeah, definitely. I had a lot of help from my family too with those bake sales, so you know, that's probably why it was worth it for me, because I didn't really have to put too much effort into it. But it's I don't know, man. It's just like it's about how bad you want. You know what can you, like what you said was a really good point about finding what people might need and exchanging services with them. Because you know, as for us, we're developers. You know, we with stuff on computers, it's just so easy for us. You know, but like you said, people don't know how to do certain things. You know, and they'll be more than willing to exchange funds for your support and whatever they need. You know, and that's really important. Like if you're really having a hard time convincing somebody to donate to your campaign, and you know that they can afford it or whatever, like you have to find what that person needs and offer that to them, you know, in exchange for their help. And I think that's a really important point.
Yeah, that makes sense. Awesome. We actually have a student coming this summer who applied to a grant. He's from India, and he applied to a grant that his government was offering, and was actually able to, like, just on the grant alone, I believe, raise the rest of the tuition and the living expenses, like the funds that he needed to cover all of that. Can I ask, did Jacob or Rudy, did either of you try applying to grants, or were you not like aware of how to do that?
Well, myself, I wasn't really too aware of the like how to apply to grants or even any grants that would actually apply to me. But you know, now thinking of it, that definitely seems like a very, very viable method of trying to get funds for yourself, because you know what, there's probably a lot of grant money out there that people don't even know about. You know, so it's very important to try and like jump on that kind of opportunity.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
yeah, as far as grants go, I'd say there's like 3 main areas to look, like your local school, whether that's high school or college, because your teachers will definitely know like some of those obscure funds that you can kind of just apply to and get right away because no one else applies to. And then you can look at your local community, because lots of times like there'll be like a mayor scholarship or something like that, and then even on the like federal level or country.
Yeah. Also, like, you know, if any of you are part of or have religious affiliations, or like certain ethnic or social affiliations. Like for myself, even though I've never actually utilized the grants that are available, being someone who's Jewish, I know that like my local JCC here in San Francisco has hundreds of thousands of dollars that is really just there for people in the community to apply for, and provided that it's for a good cause, they will actually give you those funds that you need. So, if any of you are like part of a church, or a mosque, like I would definitely encourage reaching out to the leaders of those organizations too, and seeing like, most importantly too, like when you do reach out to any leaders of any organization, I wouldn't approach it with first just asking for money. I would say, hey, I'm doing this Tilt campaign. What are your suggestions on how I could be successful at it? It's about how you phrase the question, and that means that like even if they might not be able to directly give you money, it means that that's not even like what you're asking for. It's not a no that they're going to be giving you. It's a positive response that they're going to be giving you. They'll be maybe helping you get in touch with someone else that they know that might be able to help out. Or maybe they'll be more inclined to put something out in the news press and send it out to the community. We're coming up here in an hour now, and I think it's a good time to adjourn this meeting. So if there's any last questions, oh, it looks like we have one. Yeah. Okay, Sarah.
Yeah.
Any word on that last one?
So as I emailed out to a lot of you, like scholarship things have been majorly delayed. We've given out at least $150,000 in scholarships, and so we've kind of like hit a little bit of a block in terms of the funding that we have available to give out, which is why things were delayed a little bit. Most of you can expect an email from me next, like, the end of this week, next week, that type of thing.
Okay, yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I mean, we're working on reaching out to our partner organizations and seeing if we can raise some more funds internally. But no promises, and that's why it's so important that we really work as a team and as a community on trying to figure out the best ways that we can all, be successful at raising the extra funds that we need. So I'll be kind of like reiterating again with everything we went over from this past hour in a document form. I'll send it out to all 90 folks who have applied for scholarship, and I'll also be posting in the Facebook group too. But I guess before I close on my remarks, I would just say that it's really important that if we have any questions or we want feedback on anything we're doing, that we just post in the Facebook group. Not and really just work as a community to help each other out. So if you do see that someone has asked a question, even if you don't have an answer for it, maybe like it and encourage people to stay active and engaged in the group, because I think we'll all be much more successful if we're sharing information that way. So
if I could
closing remarks.
Oh, okay.
Nope, just I wouldn't delay starting your crowdfunding. Craft something meaningful, but there's no time like the present to get started.
Yeah. Awesome. Rudy, any closing remarks, or Jacob?
Go ahead, Jacob. I'll go next.
Sure, yeah. As you were saying about, like entrepreneurship and philanthropy, that's so true. Doing these campaigns is actually, quite fun. When you first start getting those donations, it's all online. You see your cool interface. You see your money bar gradually going up. You see, and then the coolest thing is when you see random people who you have never even heard their name, they come up, And that's why, as Harlan was saying, it's so important to, get out on all the possible venues you possibly can. Put it on Facebook, ask people to share it. That's really big. If they can share it and show that to all of their friends, that's a huge burst in publicity. Posting it on Twitter and stuff. But yeah, it's very fun to try and see how much you can do just to raise your own tuition. It's very it's a game that you have to master.
Yeah, I mean, and these are really important skills too, right? It's
definitely.
It's even though many of us, our primary interest is building really cool products. Like once you have a product built, you have to get people using it. And so the process of doing that, it's very similar to the process of crowdfunding, I would say. It's a lot about like how to be an effective communicator, how to tell a compelling story, and how to actually engage people and feel like it's something that they want to be a part of. So I totally agree with you, Jacob. Yeah, and it is fun, of course, right? Like, yeah, I mean, when you get people that are random, people that you've never met that are donating money, it's an amazing feeling. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that, Jacob. Really appreciate it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree with Jacob as well. It's very satisfying to start a Tilt campaign or a campaign anywhere. for me, the most satisfying thing is seeing the people that support me, and then accomplishing the goals that I set out to accomplish, and knowing that they're seeing that as a success story, and that just to me is it's one of the most motivating factors. That's what makes me wake up in the morning. Knowing that these people believed in me, and now I have to just go out there and prove it. Also, I wanted to stress, getting like Harlan said, to get started early, and to get those family members donating to your campaign as quickly as possible, because once one person starts donating to a campaign, it just kind of snowballs after that. I had this experience with my sister's campaign. She was trying to raise money to finish, to go back to school, and I didn't get a chance to donate to her campaign until it was almost maybe a week left, and she didn't have any contributions. And so I decided, I'm just going to donate whatever I could, which I think it's like $200. And the next day, she had over $1,000 in there, because I kind of started it off, someone saw me put $200, like, oh, he's putting $200, I'm gonna go put and so it just, you have to start early, that way people can see other people donating, and they'll follow. They'll see. It's just the way people's minds work. If they see somebody else doing it, they're gonna do it. Monkey see, monkey do. You guys heard that before, right? Also, one last thing. Something I did personally, and it was a bit of a risk, but as most of these guys from Make School know, it was definitely worth it. I actually took out a loan for $5,000, which I'm already going to pay off. So it's a risk to do some things, but if you don't take that risk, and for some reason you can't make it out here, you'll never know. What could have happened from that, and you have to understand that the knowledge that you're going to gain from the summer academy is going to pay itself off tenfold. Because they're teaching you what you need to know to get a job, and that's how you're going to pay off the loans. That's how you're going to start, paying off your student loans. That's how it all gets started. So just don't be afraid to take a risk and believe in yourself. That's all I got.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much, Rudy. Really, really appreciate the insight. So yeah, I guess this will be the ending of our first weekly meeting. We'll be doing this again sometime next week, and yeah, I'm really, really excited to see how these go. And thank you all for joining. We're thrilled that you guys are going to be coming to the Summer Academy. So yeah, thanks, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, Jacob. Thanks, Rudy.
No problem. Thank you.
See you guys.
Take care.